welcome back to Niner Tech Talks. My name's Ravi, and I'm joined by Bethany and Alex. And today we're revisiting the topic of self-driving cars, one of the most fun things we got going on the road today, because everything else is super boring, like traffic and accidents, and nobody really likes to talk about those. Self-driving cars, a new technology that everybody is hearing about. We have companies like Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, and BYD all competing for consumer attention to have the best self-driving algorithm. Now, this raises some concerns about safety because sometimes algorithms are just algorithms, right? They don't have human thinking capacity, and in some situations that aren't so straightforward, that can be put into a data set, they struggle with. Bethany, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And simple things, just like if the car weren't to know the exact road structure or something like that, a simple mistake could cause somebody's safety and could really hurt not just the people in the car, but the people in other cars around them.
When we talk about safety, it's important to understand that there's a range. For Lexus, I know that they don't have full autonomous driving, but they do have something called lane assist, which helps you stay in your lane automatically and just kind of redirects your wheel if you're kind of swaying to the left or towards the right. However, it could cause a safety concern because if you try to switch lanes without turning on your turn signal, the car will try to redirect you back into your lane, which can be kind of jarring if you're driving thinking you're trying to get over and then it just moves you over. However, for Teslas, they have complete autonomous driving, which just allows you to drive wherever you want without having to do lane assist, but it can be kind of bad, like Bethany said, if there's road closures that maybe your car doesn't know about or it's an unexpected detour, and if you have it on full self-driving mode, it could drive you straight off of the road. However, there are some things implemented like putting your hands on the wheel after 30 seconds or else the car will start beeping at you letting you know that it can't continue self-driving completely. So while there are some things that help you be more safe, could there be other things that we could do to help?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of the companies are blurring the line between self-driving and safety. Do we all think that a self-driving car is a more safe car? That is up for discussion, but a lot of manufacturers are framing it that way, that it's automatically a more safe assumption. I drive a boring old Toyota Camry, and there are a lot of safety features that you could call autonomous, right? If I am drifting out of my lane, it'll shake the steering wheel and move me back. Or if it doesn't think I'm braking hard enough, it will brake for me, which can be sometimes convenient when I'm not looking at the road. But these are normal safety features, but then when you're talking about a self-driving car, it does more than just brake for you slightly in traffic or wiggle your steering wheel in a lane. It can make decisions that can affect people's lives in a major way, like the classic problem, if you have a pedestrian or a stopped car, who is it going to hit, right? Sometimes in accidents, there is no correct answer. And we need to see how these algorithms are regulated and how they're made to ensure that everyone is very safe. Bethany?
It also depends on who's behind the wheel. Sure, Robbie over here could be driving his car and not looking at the road, but we also have to consider maybe self-driving cars are a good choice for people who can't really drive their own car. See the elderly who can't be really trusted behind the wheel, or people who know they'll be driving incapacitated that we don't want behind the wheel and on the road. Self-driving cars could be a good choice for them to have out on the roads.
I think that is a great point, but it also brings up a concern if the elderly are driving and they have an autonomous vehicle. Obviously it's very new, there's a lot of new buttons and sounds. Do you think that could confuse them on the road and possibly cause an accident in itself?
Absolutely. Technology is very hard for the elderly to comprehend. I know whenever I talk to my grandmother, she can barely use the smartphone and make a phone call. I think we've addressed a lot of common concerns and exciting things coming up with self-driving cars. And I think overall, the goal is to have more transparency and more clarity and to put safety as a number one focus. Thank you for joining us in the Niner Tech Talks. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below.
Thank you.